Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It is a second part of my series Understanding North Korea. I was going to do this video like a week or two ago, but I've been really busy with finals and I'm not even done yet. I have 3 more. But I'm doing solar panels on my roof and I don't have much, so like the times when I am free, oftentimes we're doing construction because it's right on my roof. Like it's not anywhere else in the house, it's above my room. So right now is the only time where I have sunlight, where I have time, and I don't have construction noise banging on the camera. So here we go. This is the second part of the Understanding North Korea series, and this one's about the North Korean military. This video is not about, going through the specs of what the North Korean military has or how big it is, whatever. Those things are everywhere, but this stuff in this video are things that are very, very scattered and not very talked about together, if never. But before our first story, let's establish something first. Gunfights and skirmishes still happen along the DMZ, as the North Korean soldiers and South Korean soldiers still occasionally still shoot at each other. What is the DMZ? Well, if you don't know what the DMZ is at this point in time and the world, then the DMZ is a demilitarized zone along the 30th parallel of the Korean Peninsula, and it is the most dangerous no man's land on Earth today. So the occasional fire exchange between North and South don't really hit the news until something big happens, like the sinking of the South Korean naval reconnaissance ship called Cheonan back in March 26, 2010. Whoa, David, 2010? That's a little too far back in history for me to care. History is important. So the story is a South Korean naval ship sunk, well, really more like torn in half. 46 sailors died, the rest were rescued and injured, and of course, the South Korean media and the world media jumped to blame North Korea. This wouldn't be the first time North Korea got blamed for something they had nothing to do with, so I'm not even gonna comment about that. You know what? I am. Let's do it. Let's sidetrack here for just a quick minute. Remember back in 2014, the whole Sony, the interview Seth Rogen hacking debacle? How North Korea hacked Sony to stop the interview from hitting the theaters? Well, if anyone bothered to stop then and take a look at why North Korea was blamed in the first place, you'll find that it was the FBI that said North Korea, hacked us, whatever, with no proof. Literally no proof. The evidence now actually points towards a hacking group called the Lazarus Group, which has been known for hacking South Korean financial institutions before. Which means that even to today, a couple years after, there's not a shred of evidence that links the hacking from Sony to North Korea at all. North Korea even offered to help America with finding the hacker. So the reason why I brought this whole Sony thing up was because it is amazing how a single unsupported accusation from the FBI convinced the entire world that North Korea hacked Sony because they are crazy and stupid and fat. But history has written as North Korea is a culprit, so I guess North Korea did it, right? So let's rewind back to the ship. So going back to the Cheonan, which is called Cheonanham in Korean, it looks like this in Korean, was huge news in Korea and in the Korean American community here in America. If you're Korean American, you most likely heard about it. It was a tragedy. 46 sailors died. Actually, more people died, but that wasn't reported at all in the media. But this is where things get very creepy and 007 covert ops Navy SEAL. Wonderful academics and investigative journalists like Tanaka Sakai revealed to the public very important information. The survivors, or the bodies of the dead, had no burn marks or burn injuries. Instead, they had spinal injuries consistent with, if you're in a car accident, you get hit, your spine gets hurt. And the salvage wreckage of the boat, which was cut in half, showed no signs of any explosion. So now the South Korean intelligence agencies and the American military in South Korea were saying that it was a North Korean torpedo that split the boat in half. But if it was a torpedo that split the boat in half, how is it that the sailors have no burn injuries and the salvaged wreckage of the boat has no signs of explosive residue? And when the South Korean authorities fished out the fragments of the torpedo out of the water and examined them, they said that it was manufactured after German designs, but had a North Korean style number 1 written on it. And what the South Korean intelligence claimed was that the North Koreans tried mimicking German design to make it look like it was not them, but they painted on number 1 in Korean. Okay, hold up. Why would North Korea, right, go out of their way to custom design a torpedo to make it look German, but write number 1 in Korean? Why would they do that? Sometimes I really wonder, who they hire to come up with these narratives, because, even, like a stupid Asian angry kid like me can come up with inconsistencies so obvious, I don't understand. So, Sakai, the investigative journalist from Japan, said that while the North Korean torpedo story doesn't really hold up with much evidence. What seems more possible is that it was a friendly fire accident. Remember a couple of videos ago I mentioned that one of the war games that the US military and the South Korean military do is the Eagle Full exercise? Of course not, no one watches my videos. Well, the Eagle Full exercise, which include the US Navy and the South Korean Navy, was taking place and time at the place where Cheonam sank. Now, while this is a detail that's left out, it's not really any new or, like, incriminating evidence. But a crucial component to the story that was never revealed to the world is this. A US nuclear-class submarine actually sank in between where the head and the tail of the Cheonam sank, forming a triangle. KBS, one of the biggest news outlets in South Korea, actually ran this story for 1 hour before it was taken down by the government for being fake news. And there was a South Korean officer called Officer Han who was part of an elite squad. It's pretty much like the Korean Navy SEAL, who was sent as a diver to go down and seek for survivors. He unfortunately fell unconscious underwater and died. Now, the news reported that he died in the Cheonam wreckages searching for survivors, but he actually died 6 kilometers away where the US submarine sank. Now, Officer Han needed a special decompressor to dive down that deep, but both militaries of South Korea and US wanted to control the situation so fast that they just sent him down without the proper equipment. So he suffocated and he died. Members of the same elite squad that Officer Han belonged to said that the US military did not want to send their own because they knew it was too dangerous to send their own. So there's a lot of stuff to the story that was really never talked about or revealed to the public. I'm not here to tell you guys, who did it, who did not do it, but I am telling you that these facts, which changed the picture like totally, it's just not talked about or revealed at all. We got one more story today. Back in 2015, which is more recent, right? 2 DMZ guards were doing their patrol and they stepped on 2 mines and they lost their legs. The South Korean military and the US military occupying South Korea and the UN said that it was North Korea who did it because the mines were consistent with what they used back in the Korean War, and they slapped new sanctions on North Korea. Again. But see, this is where the story just cuts off, and this is where it's so convenient just to say that, well, the mines look like what the North Koreans used, 50, 60 years ago, therefore it's them. No questions asked, sanctions, nah. But see, there are some very important details of the story that are just purely ridiculous. There is a thermal video footage of the South Korean soldiers getting blown up along the DMZ, but I'm not gonna show that to you guys. I'm a generous giver. But with all seriousness, you guys can see in the video that's pretty terrible. I mean, their bodies are just like, they blew up. Now, when North Korea got the news that they were being blamed for this, they said, show us a video. If you can't even show us a video, shut up. That's pretty much what they said. And the South Korean military responded with, well, we couldn't film you guys planting mines in our DMZ because it was raining, but we did get a video of our soldiers getting blown up. Okay, you're telling me that the security camera and target caught me trying to steal a GoPro. But military-grade thermal imaging camera in the most heavily defended border in the world did not catch 2 people planting mines because of rain? Okay, so with that logic, according to the South Korean military, as long as it's nighttime, as long as it's heavily raining, the North Koreans could cross the border somehow, right? And have a dance party right along the DMZ and go back and no one would catch them, there would be no video footage of them. Okay. And besides the whole camera thing, there's a second part that makes no sense. The claim is that, a North Korean squad, consisting of how many members, crossed the DMZ, right? Planted it, and came back safely, okay? Folks, there are more than 1 million landmines along the DMZ, okay? How do you not set off a single mine on the way there and on the way back? Sometimes a mine go off because birds step on them in the DMZ. So somehow a bunch of North Koreans crossed the DMZ, right, across millions of mines, planted it without any video evidence, made it back without setting off a mine, right? I mean, because if a mine went off, both sides would be alerted because you can hear the damn thing. This story again, of course, ended up with North Korea taking the international blame and getting new sanctions slapped on. I hope you guys are noticing there's a little bit of a pattern here. Something bad happens, someone gets hurt, North Korea gets blamed on it, no evidence, makes worldwide news. North Korea does it again, and history goes down as North Korea as a culprit. Now, who actually laid the mines? I don't know, but who has access to the southern part of the DMZ and could gain politically from having North Korea as the aggressors? So that's it for today, guys. Again, I heavily encourage you guys to actually go out and research on your own. These are all things that I found in maybe like an hour or two of research, which I, so graciously provided video format. I really should be studying for finals, but... And guys, before we finish, I want to recommend the book. It's called The Korean War by Professor Bruce Cummings. He is the head of the history department at the University of Chicago. He's a really, really smart guy. And he got his hands on US archives, South Korean military archives, and North Korean archives. And he creates a corrective history where, he explores, besides the Korean War and the current state of Korea, that is really not discussed or debated at all in the academic community. I learned a ton from this book. It's only like 240 pages. It's not much. It's like, yeah. I read this in like 2 days. It's really good. You're gonna like flip page. And another book that I want to recommend is this book called Cry Korea by Reginald Thompson. This guy was in Korea during the Korean War, and he traveled with the US military, and he wrote down and recorded all the atrocities done by the US military, done on the Korean people, North or South, doesn't matter, and he put them on this book. This book is actually illegal, I believe, to this day because of censorship that came about because of MacArthur. So it's pretty cool. I have an illegal book. Don't come after me, CIA, please. Civilian atrocities committed by the US and South Korean forces to North Korean forces actually 5-1, as in the US and South Korean forces committed 5 times more civilian atrocities and war crimes than the North did. But that's something we'll explore in a separate video much later on. And to answer the question that I posed in the last video, do I only shower before I film for Messier News Sesh? Yes and no, you know what I mean? Because I usually film on weekends. I'm not gonna shower, Friday morning or Saturday morning, unless it's for this. So like, I actually got a friend who actually messaged me. He said, do you shower right before you film? I actually do. This is like, I only do this. Okay, I don't even do this for school. I don't even do this for like church or something. I should, but yeah, I do this purely for videos. And also, I'm usually only wearing boxers underneath a t-shirt because I showered. I don't want to put on pants, you know what I mean? I think when it was really hot, I wore pants and I was recording for like 4 or 5 hours straight. And let's say it got very sweaty and it was like a swamp down there. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. And originally I was gonna have this video be the last of, like my channel. But I figured, hey, you know what? I want to keep making it. It's my hobby. I like doing it, and I don't know. Maybe hopefully someday, it gets some kind of and so I'll see you guys next time. Next video will be on the North Korean nuclear weapons program. I'll see you guys soon on when that'll be. That'll be within a month for sure. But I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.